Hey, what's up guys? I'm Scott from muscularstrength.com, and in today's video, I want to talk to you guys about Kinobody's Natty verified movement. And the reason why we're talking about this is because you guys have been commenting on my recent videos. Hey Scott, what do you think about Natty verified? Is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea? Will it work? What do you think? And so I did some research. I watched Greg's video on the topic. I also watched Omar's video. If you guys, I'm sure a lot of you already saw his video. It has like 200,000 views or something like that. So basically, to sum up Omar's video, I basically agree with 99%, if not 100% of all the things that he was saying. So you're probably gonna hear a little bit of overlap here, but there are some other things that I wanna talk about that he didn't mention, where I'm pretty sure he would agree with me as well. And on a side note, Omar's supposed to be getting his ass down here to Florida real soon. We talked about this last year when I was homeless, living in I wasn't even in my house yet, about doing a collab. So if you guys want to see that, comment down below and I'll text Omar and say, hey, get your Canadian ass to Orlando. Let's go ride the new Harry Potter ride and film some epic collabs. Yeah! Anyways, why do we care about Natty verified? Like, who really cares? At the end of the day, let me be very clear with all of you. I do not care who's natural and who's not natural. All I care about at the end of the day is that the information being provided to you, being sold to you, and that you're finding online is actually going to work and help you reach your goals. Whether you're 100% lifetime natural or not, it doesn't matter. Either one of these people can have the information you need to reach your goals. Unfortunately, the problem now, and the reason why Natty verified is becoming such a big deal and such a big topic, is because you have a lot of people that are trying to get YouTube and Instagram famous that are jumping on low dosages of gear to look basically my size, a little bit bigger and a little more shredded, to sell their garbage workout programs. And I think it's getting to the point now where you guys are really starting to suffer. I mean, you got people making friggin' arm workout videos telling you that triceps pushdowns are compound movement. This is a V-bar, and it is used to do a triceps pushdown.
Doing this with a tricep pushdown. Now we're doing this as our first main compound movement.
And that's how you're gonna build huge arms. Like, I don't think you guys understand what it, well, I mean, those of you who are Lifetime Naturals understand, and if you're watching this and if you've been training for a long time, you understand. But if you're new to fitness and you just started going to the gym now, I don't think you quite understand why people like myself and Omar get so irritated with these fake natties coming into our space and claiming Lifetime Natural to sell you their friggin' garbage workout programs and meal plan advice. As a natural lifter, okay, I've been lifting since I was 12. I started working in a gym when I was 14. At that age, I'm 34 years old now. At that young age, YouTube didn't exist. How did I make any gains as a kid? I listened to all the gym bros that were in my gym. Was the advice good? Let's just say, you know, where there's a will, there's a way. When you're that age and you're excited about lifting, you're gonna spend 3 or 4 hours at a time in the gym. You're gonna get results. And we've talked about this. There's a thing that's called newbie gains, okay? When you first start exercising in your first year, you can gain anywhere between 20 to 25 pounds of muscle. And that's what, even if you're doing an absolute, like, horrible program, as long as you are creating some sort of stimulation to the muscle tissue and eating more food, you will see gains. And that's a false positive for a lot of the bullshit that these fake naturals sell to all of you. Because you check out their 6-month transformation photos where they basically go from looking like Steve Urkel to friggin' Phil Heath, right? And you're like, wow, Lifetime Natural right in the profile, like Simone Panda. This dude's a Lifetime Natural and he's as big as Arnold. He must know what he's talking about, right? Like, there's no way that somebody would lie to me on social media to sell shit, right? No way that would ever happen. Like, who would even think that I could I could lie and make tons of money. Like, who could ever think that would happen? And then what happens? You buy the program, you start eating correctly, you make your newbie gains, but then you quickly plateau because you don't really know what you're doing, and the person that sold you that program does not really know what it takes to build muscle naturally. You can be on low dosages of gear and go to the gym and do tricep press downs and think it's an amazing exercise for your triceps because you're getting a pump and seeing muscle growth. But if you're a 100% natural athlete and you go to the gym and you do that as your first exercise and then you move on, you're not gonna see growth past those initial newbie gains. It's just not an exercise that's meant to build big triceps. It's an exercise that's meant to help increase the overall mind-muscle connection to your triceps and maybe work as a burnout at the end of your workout. And so we learn things like compound movements and try to incorporate them into our programs as much as possible. One of the biggest struggles for me, you know, being young is I was very ignorant as a kid, you know? I had no idea why a lot of my friends, especially on the football team, when I was like 15, 16 years old, I'm like barely, I was really skinny, guys. Like I was like 135 pounds or whatever. I wasn't super strong. I was barely benching 95 pounds. And I was training all the time, and I had friends coming in the gym on the football team benching, you know, 135 for reps, 225 for reps, and I just could not understand how somebody who's not even training as hard as I am, like I worked in a friggin' gym at that point, how somebody who's training as hard, or not training as hard as me is making so much more progression until I got older, and I realized that 99% of the kids on my football team were on gear. Like, and I'm not even making that up. One of the kids on the team actually had the FBI. I actually just learned the story recently. I'm not gonna say his name because I don't want to get him in trouble, but this kid I went to high school with was selling gear to everybody else on the high school football team. His house got raided by the police, I think the FBI, and they found his little black book of everyone's name and phone number and the stuff he was selling. And then he ended up selling out the people who were giving him all the stuff that he was selling to the football team, and within 24 hours, he moved across the country. I was like, where did this kid go? I haven't seen him in a while. They're like, oh, he moved, he's out of here. Crazy, like crazy. But like, I guess the point of that story is, some of you might be watching this video and be very ignorant to the fact that it is a lot easier than you think to get a hold of these illegal substances. And if you're listening to people that are giving you information based on being on illegal substances and they've never known what it's like to suffer through a plateau, to have to redo your entire workout because certain exercises aren't working or certain exercises are wasting your time. There is a lot of knowledge that you obtain from trying and failing, and I think that goes a long way. And with you guys being so lucky to be able to go on YouTube and have this wealth of information available to you, and not have to go through these periods of suffering and having to redo your workouts because, like I said, when I was a kid, this stuff didn't exist. So it was all trial and error. For you guys, it's mostly trial and succeed, and then trial and succeed more, right? If you follow in the right people. So that's a big part of it for me. And another thing is, I made a video about this. It's called 1 cycle of steroids equals bigger forever. The biggest difference between a natural athlete and a LifeTime natural athlete, even if you do just 1 cycle, you are modifying your cells, okay? At the epigenetic level, the epigenetic modifications that are happening in your skeletal muscle tissue, I hope I said that correctly. It's been a while since I made this video, but there are epigenetic modifications that basically unlock unnatural potential in your skeletal muscle tissue, which basically means, in simplest terms, that as soon as you do 1 cycle, you're modifying the cells in your body to be able to grow more muscle, so that even when you go off, let's say you do 1 cycle and never do it again, you have still unlocked more muscle building potential that otherwise would have never been available to you as a 100% natural athlete. And that's why a lot of dudes that do 1 cycle, and if they do it at the right time, and during the time where they're growing the most, and they eat tons of food, and they bulk a lot, yeah, they might shrink down a little bit, but the amount that they shrink down versus how much they would have grown if they stayed 100% natural, they start here and they reach a point of here by jumping on a cycle, right? Now this is the cycle person, this is the natural person. They might shrink to like there, and then the natural limit might be like here. So there's still a gap in between what they would have accomplished as a 100% natural athlete versus doing one cycle. And it is very important that you guys understand that, and then when we apply this to the naturally verified movement, and this is the thing that Oma didn't really touch upon in his video, he talked about a lot about how if you know the test is coming, there's ways to get around it and pass it. I mean, that should be common knowledge by now that there's ways to get around these tests. My biggest beef with naturally verified is you can be off gear for 10 years, but because you still did it and you got a lot of muscle growth out of it, you can still try to sell this image and take this test, get naturally verified, and say, hey, look, I took the test, I'm naturally verified, I look amazing, y'all wanna look like me? Here's my program, spend your money. And don't get me wrong, the program that they're selling could still be a good program. Like, I'm not saying that if you're not 100% natural, you don't know what you're talking about, but you will never look like them. And with fitness, basically, you know, we have diseases like body dysmorphia. For some of you, you get this program, you see that this person's naturally verified, and you train as hard as you possibly can, but you can never get your shoulders to look capped like theirs do, and you can never get as veiny as they are, and you can never get to that level of leanness that they have. And you can't understand why, because you're doing their program and they're naturally verified. And then you just start to think things like, oh, maybe I have bad genetics, so that's why I can't do it. And we start making up all these excuses. Their genetics are better than mine, or my genetics are really bad. And we make every excuse instead of just coming to the conclusion that you're being lied to. And that is my problem. If you are in fitness, and you're on social media, and you're on YouTube, and you're peddling your programs, that's fine. And there's a lot of people in this industry that compete at a very high level where they probably are on some type of gear. And I don't think it's fair to go on a witch hunt and go after these people, because that's a part of the industry. And this might sound a little bit being contradictory to you guys that I'm saying this, but if you think about it, at the end of the day, this natty verified thing, okay, it's more for the people that are claiming 100% natural, and you look at them and you're like, okay, bro, like, take it easy, right? These are the people we want to go after. We're not going after Mr. Olympia to like have a witch hunt. Like, I mean, I think that's a little ridiculous if you ask me. So I don't want to talk too much about this topic. I pretty much said everything I want to say, but I want to hear more from you guys. I want to know down in that comment section what you think. Do you agree what I'm saying? Do you disagree what I'm saying? Do you think that there's other tests that can be administered? Do you want to see me with like a backpack of syringes and mouth swabs and just jumping people as they're coming out of the gym and being like, hey, I have a test, I want you to take it. If you don't take it, you're not natural. Actually, I would like to see that. That would be hilarious. Can you imagine like a TMZ type, you know, situation, or like paparazzi type situation where just like jumping out of like the friggin' bushes or from behind the counter at a gym, and I'm just like, boom, in your face with a camera and a light, and I'm like, take my test or you're not natural. That would be hilarious. I would probably do it with my Broly wig on too, just to make it even more fun. But anyways, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. At the end of the day, people like myself, people like Oma, and from what I can see, obviously people like Greg, our main concern is to make sure that the information being provided to all of you is factual and will work. It's not so much for me about going on a witch hunt to see who's natty, who's not. It's just that there's too many people now taking advantage of YouTube and other social media who aren't natural and are giving shit advice, and those people definitely need to be called out on their bullshit. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to smash that like button, and I'll see you next time.